I don't like it because it essentially requires you to purchase a new phone every time you switch carriers, as opposed to that phone should be able to be transferred with your wireless policy as opposed to being limited to whatever company you originally purchased a phone from. And I think that infringes on freedom and gives each phone company a little bit of a monopoly. Well, they're not stealing the use of the phone. They're just trying to transfer it to a different carrier, which I think should be allowed. The law at stake is the DMCA, which was really made for music and things of that nature, which are often being taken illegally and pirated and things of that nature, which a phone is originally purchased and you should be able to transfer it. So I think it's a different type of item than what the law was intended to cover. It does, but I would compare that to you buy a computer, you put different software on it and you use a different Wi-Fi carrier, or an internet provider, which you'd of course be able to do. And so I don't get the translation which makes phones so much different than any other kind of technological device. Well, you make more money if you have to buy a new phone anytime you switch wireless carriers, and I think that's the biggest issue. I think the biggest reason I don't like it is just you don't have the freedom to take your phone with you when you switch carriers. It seems to me to be a blatant money grab, prevent you from basically keeping your phone, forcing you to buy a new one, which I don't think is what the law was originally intended to do. And I think that phone makers have basically piggybacked onto this law to try to make more money and eliminate our freedom to switch providers. It seems to be basically they're using a legal loophole to earn more revenue. I will say that like having multiple lines in your phone and things of that nature, if you go to another country, it's usually widespread. I know that like India, China, Japan, places like that, you can do that, and it really makes it more convenient. So I think that saying that that's a bad thing could really be a good thing and give consumers more flexibility. And as a consumer, I would definitely like that.
I think the companies aren't losing, they're losing money instead of their creativity. So they don't have the right to say it's our creativity unless they design the phone, but they didn't, they get it from someone else. It should be up to the creator to decide whether the phone should be unlocked and not up to the carrier. I'm sure it's all about money. There's really no other reason for them to say it's my creativity and not yours, and that they take away your right to be able to unlock your phone and change carriers. I definitely think if you buy the phone, it's yours, and you should be able to move carriers if you choose. Now, if you're under your 2-year contract, you should stay with them because you did sign a contract with them to say you would stay for 2 years. But past that 2-year contract, it's your phone. You should be able to do with it whatever you want. I think it's a really good idea that some people are still sticking with, hey, if you come to us, we'll unlock your phone and you can leave, because that's how it should be. Knowing that, if I were to start a new contract, I'd be more implied to go start a contract with Verizon, knowing that if I don't like their service and after 2 years my contract's up, I can take my phone somewhere else. I mean, it's up to the company. It shouldn't be a state law that says it's illegal or not. It has nothing to do with laws. It's not copyright. It's not pirating. It's you taking your own property and taking it somewhere else instead of with them.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, after thinking about it, not for it. I think that if you have the cell phone, then you should have the right to go and switch over to whatever carrier you want. That's free enterprise, what our nation's founded on, and competition to business. I think it'd be fine. Doesn't seem like an appealing, well thought out idea to me. I think that that's perfectly viable decision by the company. That's their way of maybe getting more people to come to their company in the beginning. It's a business decision to get more customers to come, so that for the fact that you can have an unlocked phone. So I think it's just competition.
I don't see how we're stealing or manipulating their creative market by keeping a phone unlocked. I think it's kind of our free will where we get our phone. So I just don't understand why they would, want to make it illegal.
Well, I feel like there's enough options out there, from what I've read, that carriers offer phones at a much steeper price, but at a point where you can choose a provider to select and put them under. So I feel like if you're going to sign a 2-year contract to a certain carrier, you might as well just go through the 2 years and stick it out. And in the point of international travel, Maybe someone might think ahead. You know, it may be a more of an expense, but you might as well just buy yourself just another phone already unlocked and, you know, ready for use.
But you don't.
At least as far as I know, there's like a big enough monopoly under your carriers that it's all a bunch of rhetoric and what they present to you on the media. Like I know T-Mobile, like they're a subsidiary of one of the other larger carriers. I'm not quite sure which one. I know I've heard this from a friend who I thought pretty knowledgeable about the subject. But as far as freedom, like it does sound like it is, but they give you options like outside of the realm of having your own particular phone that you purchased under their right of contract, the way they set it up. So I don't feel like they're taking away too much since they already have options set up for you. As far as being a college student, you know, I don't have too much money on my hands, but I feel like whenever there's like a rule in place that should restrict you, especially if it protects the interests of a certain company, such as like, you know, fraud, and they could go sell the phones to like, you know, it's going to kill the market for like after good, like used products. Like I feel like there are enough legitimate reasons where you can just take some more money out of your hands and just set yourself up for the few things that this law would prevent you from doing, such as the international travel example. I feel like that it's just, for some people it may be a big deal because, you know, money is a big deal, especially in America. But like in my opinion, like the way it's set up, it shouldn't be, because there are enough options, so it's not going to be a huge hindrance to too many people. The need to unlock a phone, there could be. I could never discount myself, but if there were a situation where I would need one, you're just going to have to, you know, roll with the punches, get a new one. I'm not the one to just go ahead and just say, well, I'm going to put my needs first over someone else's rules, so, you know, just take it as it goes.